Everybody, welcome back to The Loop. Since this is the last episode of this week, and since Sunday is a really important day, I want to give all my boys out there a heads up. Sunday is Valentine's Day. I do not have time to do your marriage counseling because you couldn't find time to get flowers and a card for your girl. So get on it, and yes, you can thank me later. Today, I want to look at a couple of stories that are smashed together in Mark chapter 5. There's a story about a little girl who dies, and another story about an older woman who has been bleeding internally for 12 long years. The girl who died was obviously in a position where no one could do anything to help her. But the older lady who was still alive was actually in the exact same position. No one could do anything to help her. In fact, Mark tells us that this woman had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors. The text said in verse 26 that she had spent all she had, but instead of getting better, she only grew worse. In both of these cases, this young woman and the old woman, they're healed by Jesus simply because of their faith. In verse 34, Jesus said to the older woman, "Your faith has healed you." In verse 36, Jesus said to the family of the little girl, "Don't be afraid, just believe." Now, it's important to see that Jesus doesn't just ask them to believe or to have faith. He tells them not to be afraid. When we find ourselves in these types of situations, we will either be controlled by our fear or we will be controlled by our faith. And so if your tendency is to be controlled by fear, let me ask you, what are you afraid of? Do you fear rejection? Do you have FOMO, fear of missing out? Are you afraid of failure? Is it a fear of the unknown? Maybe you're like these girls in the story. You're afraid of dying. Whatever it is, you have to believe that your God is greater than your biggest fears. And so my question for you is this: how is Jesus bigger than your greatest fear? After you answer that question, I want to wrap it up today by encouraging you to take a minute and reflect on Psalm 34, verse 4. There, David said this, "I sought the Lord, and He answered me. He delivered me from all my fears." It was true of David, and my hope is that it will be true in your life as well. Ask God to deliver you from fear by building your faith in Him.